Night before the Silverfish League on Moorlands Farm. Just getting a few fine little bits ready. It's the 6th round tomorrow. We're doing alright in the league. Sitting second at the minute. I think I've got 3 wins and 2 seconds. No, have I got 3 wins? Yeah, 3 wins and 2 seconds. So just getting my final few bits ready. To be fair, you don't really need a lot of kit for up there. It's quite nice. Really, we need a win tomorrow to keep in the hunt of winning the league. There's a lad a point ahead of me, so really, if I don't win tomorrow, I think I won't win the league, to be honest. Because they're only 6 peg sections. I think you've got to win your section most rounds to win. Toby's going to meet us in the morning, get some cameras set up. So fingers crossed, it doesn't all go tits up, as they say. And we can perform for the cameras, because it's been going really well up into that. I've won the last 3 matches on the trot there, so hopefully we can draw on some fish and make it worth watching, because this time of the year, if you're not on fish, it could be a long, boring old day. But I'm sure we'll be alright, we'll catch a few fish. And then it'll just be a competition then to see how many pints Danny can drink in the clubhouse before we set off. 6 is his normal. I reckon he's got 7 in him, 8 if he wins this section. So I'm just going to put the last of the stuff in the van, put the kids to bed, go to bed myself, and I'll catch up with you on the bank in the morning. Hi, I'm Mikey Williams, and today we're going to do a nice match day live. Moorlands Farm Fishery today for the 6th round of the Silverfish League. Been a brilliant league this has. Grant's done a great job of this place, turned it round. The fishing is awesome. There's 48 anglers on the league. It's a really good league. I've been lucky enough, I've won the last 3 rounds, so I thought we'd push a boat out, come out to do a live match whilst I'm on a bit of song, but unfortunately the wheels come off. We've drawn 7 on middle pool, and to be honest, that's probably my last pick of what I would have drawn. Maybe 35 on meadow would have been the second worst, but this is bad. But there you are, that's how it goes in match fishing. We'll try and salvage, I think a third would be a good result from this area today, but we'll just have to take it on the chin, see how it goes. I'm sure we'll catch a few, but I think it'll just be hard. Okay, let's have a quick look at the rigs. I've only set 3 up today. It's pretty even the bottom, to be fair. Where I want to fish is quite flat. So we're fishing for small fish, small silverfish, a single 3 elastic. I've just got 2 little 10 back shots there, just to hold the float still. A little slim float, a little 1mm bristle on it, really fine, delicate fishing. And then down the line then is what's called a reverse taper. So I've just got all my shots from halfway down, they all just get further and further apart as we go down the rig towards the hook. The main line is fine, it's 011, just helps your fine bristle floats just to set them properly. If your main line's too thick, they'll tend to rise up out of the water a touch. Hook length then is an 08 fluorocarbon, just 6 inches of that, little loop to loop, and a 20 F1 pellet just to finish the rig. The next rig then is identical, but all it's got is a black bristle on the float, only because there's shadows all over the place on the 2 lines I want to feed. One's in dark, one's in light water. Everything else is exactly the same. Reverse taper, 011, 08 hook length, and a little 20 hook. And I just set, because there's quite a few roach in this lake, I just set up a little shallow rig. So it's all again the same. 3's elastic, 011 mainline, but I've just got a little 4x10s on that one, and it's just spread out with a little number 12 shots. 08 hook length again, and a little 20 hook. So 3 little simple rigs, but nice and versatile to cover all the situations. So the rigs are simple, and the bait is even simpler. All I've got is a pint of fluoro pinkies. That'll be more than enough. If you use 1/4 of them today, I'll be surprised. And then for ground bait, I've just got 2 pints of crushed expander and 2 pints of a sample mainline silverfish ground bait. Just mixed 50-50, over-wetted it, pushed it through a riddle, and that's literally it. You can't get much simpler than that. There you are, that's it. I don't want to kick off, just one of them. Start on my 13-metre line. Here we go then. Get those cameras going. I'm going to feed this 30-metre line now first off, because that's where I'm going to start. Just take my time, in line with my marker, plop him in, take that off. don't think we're going to catch a lot in the first hour today, so you just want to take your time, get all your lines fed where you've plumbed them up. So a few dead pinkies in that ball there, another like little palm-sized ball. I'll put a couple of live ones in with that. Time, make sure I don't trot out the cup. That's down my peg there, 13 metres, in line with our white board. And then last line just in front of me. I'm going to feed this one a bit more positive, so I can just leave it be for a couple of hours. A little bit more ground bit in there. A couple of pinkies. What I'll do, I'll just feed that loose. 200ml loose ground bit. A few dead pinkies in there. Push it on over, just give it a squeeze down. That could be my positive line now. Put him on the surface of the water, turn him over, and out he comes there, look. He'll have a nice little bed, a ground bit then, on the deck. Right, so no rush, may as well stop for a cup of tea now. So I've just dropped in now, just over that first line we potted in. I expect it to be slow now, this first bit, but to be honest, I wanted to draw on that end of the lake, and already they've all got, I think the two lads on the two ends have both got 2 or 3 fish each, and they're only 2 minutes in, so I think we're going to be proper up against it here. If there's fish are up there now, then they'll be there most of the day, I'd have thought. So it's going to be a proper damage limitation, I think, for us by here today. But we'll have a go, you never know. I don't think there's many like bonus skimmers and stuff in here, so if you go behind, it'll be hard to come back. That's what's worrying me a little bit. And the fact that they've caught up there already isn't a very good sign for us down this end, like. Oh, a bite. A bite. That can't be bad. A roach, look. Little hybrid-y thing. That's going to be sort of bread and butter today, I think. Small fish, lots of them. Let's see if I've had a bite. I'm happy with that. First chuck in there, really. No. We just catch these steady, odd bonus fish amongst them. You'd be surprised. Well, what they'll weigh come the end. So again, just laying my rig out past my pole tip. A few pinkies in the catapult. Get them over. Just about getting into a little rhythm now. If there's some small fish about. That could be a skimmer now. Catch a few of these would be alright. Yeah, it's a skimmer, look. A few of these. So I'll go with this new hand in the handle, is it? First I'll go with him. Sign that. Nice good stamp there. I'm sure it's one of them I lost earlier on. A few of them I'd be happy. Always do a good weight to them. Little rudd, bob nud, as they say. Love a bob nud. Try and put this one in the net, is it? Oh, you better roach, look. Oh, I was lucky. What's going on with this hook? Nice roach. Little fat one. Tangled my rig. Alright, so we're at the hour mark and we're struggling, to be honest. I just can't see how we're going to finish any better than last but one. I think the bottom three are out of sight already. They're catching skimmers and odd big perch, and it's really tough at this end. To be honest, I thought it was going to be. When we walked round, there was a fish topping on that end, and I just didn't fancy this top bit. But it's hard to update really when there's nothing really happening. I put a little nugget of ground bait in on my long line here, and I had a skimmer straight away. And then I've gone back and I've had like a half a tidy roach and a smaller roach and another little skimmer. But, I can't really see where we're going to get any run a bonus fish from at the minute. When I do catch one, like it's 2 ounce, you want them to be 5-6 ounce a piece really to do any good with them. I think we're going to start feeding a bit more ground bait, just trying to be a bit more positive, because the bottom end of the lake is fishing quite well, and normally this is the hardest lake on here, so I think I'm just going to start topping up a little bit more regular, with more ground bait. There's obviously a few skimmers about here. And just try and, if I can get that other line going on this line and then flick back and forth between the two, we may catch a few, but as it is, we're struggling. Hour in, not looking good, boys. That's going to be one of the ones we're going to be throwing back in, I think. I'd say that's going to be a big F1 or a carp. That is the problem on this end of the lake. There's a lot of these big old F1s. And it's going to be an F1, that is. Look at the size of that, look. You wouldn't think you'd land them on a weight. Like it just came in like it was nothing. Back he goes. What's that now? I reckon that's another F1. Oh, might be a skimmer. Hang on now. It is, aye. Go on, the skimmers. These are what we need. These are what we want. That's better. That's better. So, Tobe. A little skimmer. had that as well, he's got stuff down. Settle. So I've just decided to rest. I've just topped my 13 metre line up that way with another little nugget, because I did have 2 more skimmers, quite quick, one after another, so I've just topped that up. Just dropped on my shorter line now, which is 11 metres. I put 250mm loose ground bait in on this one. And I just on the off chance, I've just dropped in, I caught a skimmer, like a little one, hand size. I've dropped in again and just had a roach about 2 ounce. But I'm not really feeling this line yet. I only just curiously just dropped in here just to see what's happening, but it's a little fish, small fish, but shouldn't really be catching these over like on that more positive line. So I'm going to leave this again now, leave that line alone, settle, and I'm going to ship back out to that lower main line of 13 metres, because there was an odd skimmer about there, and if we can get a run of them going, just regular top-ups with ground bait, I think we might be alright. It's the same depth, so it's nice. I can just take a section off, drop in there, and add a section to go back long again, so I'm not in and out changing my top kits all the time, which is nice. Quick go now, back long. Now I've rested it for a little bit. Keep loose feeding a few pinkies on the shorter line down the edge here. Hoping that's going to come good for us the last hour. But this is the main line at the minute. There's a few skimmers and that about, there's a little dink in. Caught in 2 minds whether to strike at that one then. Just lay it back in again. A couple of pinkies. Always trying to feed them just short of my pole tip, so it gives me the option to fish past my bait if I want to ship out to the end of the section. It's a good method on you, just fishing past your feed. You do tend to catch a lot of fish like that, especially these silver fish, these bigger skimmers. But at the minute there's no real pattern to it, it's just an odd fish on the bait and just a very odd one past. Bites are horrendous, it's just tiny little, just pull the float down to a little pimple and it's dotted down. Hard enough to see it anyway. Oh, that's a bite. That's a carp foul hooked. That's what we don't want. See, that is one thing we just start feeding a bit too much ground bait. Foul hook that up the bottom. That's not what you want. If this was a match now where these fish counted, every one of these would break you on this light tackle. Come on, buddy. Is he foul hooked? Yeah, he's foul hooked. Yeah, fun. I think he's a skimmer now, is it? He'll pull his head off. Stretching the guts out of my elastic, yeah? It's an F1, look. And that's the problem, as the match wears on, you might catch, end up having more and more of these. Welcome in any other match, except for today. Foul hooked him in the wing. Just the wrong colour, that one. Go on then. Bite. Oh, that could be a skimmer, that one. That's what we're after. Yeah, I think it is. What is that? Almost a tidy roach, look. Billy or yeah, man? Come on, bite. He'll do. On the regular, them. That's more like it. Fingers crossed, that's a big turkey plate now. Won't be an F1. Oh, it could be an F1, that could be a skimmer for the boys. Boys need big skimmers. Come on, yes. Ah, there you are. Now then. They're the ones we want, look at them. Beauties. What I'm going to do now, again, is quickly... Just going to put another little nugget of ground bait in on my inside line. Soft walnut size bottle again. Keep that topped up. Hopefully that'll come good for us later. Now that big skimmer, like I said earlier on, that was right at the end of the section, so that was probably 3 or 4 foot past the feed, that one. You'll find out with them bigger skimmers, they'll just hang off the back of those little balls of ground bait. So that's why you don't want to feed to the end of your section if you can help it. Just when you're flicking a few pinkies in, try and keep them your side. So you give them like a little bit of a safe zone at the back they can back off into. Just need that to happen another 20 times and we'll be right. 2 hours in now. I don't know what to say, it hasn't really gone much better. I did have a little flurry of, I had one good skimmer and a couple of other sort of net skimmers, but I thought we were going to get into something then, but it's just sort of gone on us. The only place I can really catch is on this line here, but it's very odd fish. It's not, there's not regular bites. I think I'm going to have a look on this line I've been priming down to my left. I need that to come good now because I don't know, just don't feel as if I'm going anywhere at the minute. I've tried feeding with a little pole pot, little wet little nuggets of ground bait after every 2 or 3 fish, and it doesn't really make any difference. Feeding with a catapult, not making much difference, to be honest. I had a little look on my positive line. I had a little hybrid, a little skimmer and a roach on there, but never felt as if I was going anywhere on that either. So I think it's going to be a case of just trying to pick off what I can, just try and keep in the race and then hopefully get a good run later on, but it's not really looking like it's going to happen at the minute. Nothing I see, anything I tried, nothing seems to work. Regular feeding or just feeding and fishing it out, just, I don't know, just nothing seems to be happening here. And it feels like it's getting worse, that's the trouble. It feels like it's just grinding out slowly, just grinding to nothing. So I think I'm going to top this line up with like a golf ball sized ball with a few dead pinkies in there. I'm going to swing round into my other line and have a little drop in there, and hopefully I can get a run of fish from our line. Because as it is, we're struggling big time now. But we've still got 3 hours, so just need one line to come good for a good run on one line, and then we'll be back in it. Fingers crossed anyway. on my positive line now, it was going nowhere, so I just thought I wanted to top it up. So what I've done, I got another little bowl of ground bait dry, mixed it with some water, like over wetted it with a few pinkies so it's quite sticky, and I put like a golf ball sized ball in just on this line, left it for a bit. To be honest, the ripples got on now, I can't see my float on the other line, so I've just dropped it on this. I've had 3 skimmers and like 3 roach really quick, so that's quite encouraging, to be honest. But the lad opposite has had a few big skimmers as well, so there might be a few skimmers in this area. So I'm just going to see how this goes for 5 more minutes now, and I'll top it up with a ball half the size of the last one, and then I'm going to try and have a look. It's a hell of a job with that. The light's gone all funny now and the ripple on it, I just can't see anything on those lines to my left. No, there's another bite on that line again now. There's a few fish just come on this line just as I put that ball in, so let's see what this is. I think this is going to be a roach. Yeah, just necked that one. Nice, like 3 ounce, quite chunky. I'll try and catch, if I catch another roach I'll top it up, but if I catch a skimmer I think I'll just catch that fish and leave it and then drop on my other line. There's been a few fish that come over that little ball. It's nice to get a response on something, to be honest, and the boys on the other end have slowed up a little bit now, but the lad opposite me has caught some good sized skimmers, so he's ahead of me. But starting to tick over a little bit now. I think we're like halfway through, so still plenty of time for something to happen, yeah? At least there is a few skimmers up in this area, which is nice. Just need to find a way to put them together now quite quick. I don't want to leave it too late. I'll definitely come over a little bit of wetted up brown bait. Just put some dead pinkies over there. And have a little bit of a run, I want that. Which is nice. Skimmers we want, though, really. If you can get a few of them mixed in, £1 each, like, we won't be far off. So I'm just going to keep plodding away on this line now, and then I'll just update you then if anything changes or if we come to the next hour. Mark now then. I did have one good run at 11 metres. I had a couple of skimmers and I did have a nice run of roach as well. My longer line just seems to have, that line out there 30 metres just seems to have gone. I haven't had a bite on that line for a while now, so I've swung round and dropped it on this line. I had like a good roach, about 8 ounce first drop, and then I went a while without a bite, and all of a sudden it's gone, and I've had like a skimmer close to £1. But then I just dropped in again and had a great big F1, so this might be a line where I'll catch, like, I've had 3 bites on it, but then they've all been 3 proper fish, so I might not get many bites on this line, but I might get a few bonuses, especially like last going off, 2 hours to go now. So I'm getting into the time now where you're looking to catch a few quality fish. I've topped up my other 11 metre line, so I'm going to go back on that shortly, just to see if I can get another little run once I can rest this. Looking around the lake, I'm well down. Peg 1 is just walked it, I think, to be honest. Just can't catch enough to keep up with him. The lad opposite me has had a good run of skimmers, which I think that'll put him ahead of me as well. So, but it does seem to be getting harder. It's getting harder, the fishing is, for everybody on the lake, which is a bit of a problem because you're not going to be able to catch up then. There's still 2 hours to go. Still time for something to happen. I think realistically first is gone. He's not going to win the lake now. He's got just caught all day, that lad, so I'm not going to catch him up. But I think second still might be on the cards, which won't be a disaster from this sort of draw. You know, to snatch your arm off for a second off here at the start of the day. So I'll keep plodding now. I'm just going to keep plodding on this line for another 10 minutes, and then I'm going to have a look at my 11 metre line, see if I can get a little run of fish off that. And hopefully I can just flick back and forth between these 2 lines. There you boys, Tob. Bit of Mike Tyson in that one, Tob. Real good fighter. Huh? So hour and a half to go now. To be honest, the writing is on the wall for me today. The 2 pegs up the top are just out of sight now. I'm probably, well, there are only 5 peg sections. I'm probably only beating 1 person at the minute, so, and I can't see it's going to get any better now. It's just sort of fading away, just no bites, really struggling. This will knock the guts out of the league for me as well, I think. I was second going into today, but you know, a 4th is an absolute disaster. Like a 2nd isn't great, but a 4th is a nightmare. So I can't see I'm going to come back. I'm going to need a serious miracle to get anything happening here now. Just no bites anywhere. But that's winter fishing. Like when you get in one of these corners, it can be really hard. Like so. You know, I've been lucky, I've had a few nice draws, I've had some nice days on here. I was due a Baden and always seems to happen when you've got the cameras with you, but there you are. Can't really do much about that. There's a bite. What's that now? I've got a funny feeling that's an F1. And I'm hoping it's going to be a bream. It might be a skimmer now, we might be lucky. It's not doing a lot. Plodding. Could be a skimmer, let's have a look here. Be silver, don't be brown. If it's brown, it's going down. Oh, it's an F1. Yeah, didn't need that. Thought that was going to be a nice big skimmer, get us out of jail then. Ah, look. Oh, it's disappointing, that is. Oh, I thought that was going to be a skimmer then. That is the trouble now. You know, you're not having many bites, and a lot of times when you do have a bite, it's one of them, which don't count. So, I think I'm absolutely knackered, to be honest. So I'll keep plugging away anyway. Hopefully we'll get a little run of fish from somewhere. I don't know where, but we might get a little run somewhere. So I'll just keep plugging on now. Update you in about half an hour when we're into the last hour. On the last hour mark now, and I've had 2 skimmers off this line here, and I had 2 skimmers off that line as well, in front of me, 11 metres. And I thought I was sort of like creeping my way back up the board a bit, but then the lad on the end here has just had like 4 great big skimmers short, so that's just knocked the guts out of me now. I just don't think there's enough like quality size fish on this end to get back into it now, so it's just damage limitation, just trying to enjoy the last hour. You know, this happens in match fishing. Sometimes you're just not, you know, you're not on a peg capable of winning or competing. Like, but you know, you've always got to give it your all. You know, I've given everything today again. Tried to keep taking over and give myself a best chance, put myself in a good position, but it just hasn't happened, and that's just the way it is. You know, everybody gets disappointed about it. Just hooked a big F1 again now down the edge. That's a problem now, this peg. It's just the later on you get, it's just more F1s. You know, it's this time of day now, the F1s are just on one, and they. But let's come off. I think that's just, well, not much to report really, but you just got to take a rough for the smooth. It's winter fishing. You know, this league is over 8 rounds. You're not going to have a brilliant round every time. You know, you're going to have an odd bad one. So when you get them, you've got to take them on the chin. Remember, it's only fishing, even though it does eat you up a bit when it's not going your way. But there you are. So I'm going to out to go now. I'm going to get my head down now. Just try and winkle out a few more fish. Just try and make something happen here. If I can catch a few little run of skimmers or something. You never know, it's never over till it's over. So I'm just going to keep plugging away now. And fingers crossed we'll have a few better skimmers just to finish on and finish with a nice little high. There's a skimmer there now, look, just as I was signing out. Well, that's what you need, you just want to be able to drop it in a line and just have a good run, like a good last hour run. You'd be surprised, you never know. You always think you're miles behind everybody, but sometimes you're not that far. Even though today I think I am a fair bit behind the little skimmer. That's back on my 30 metre line now. I haven't had a bite there for a long time, but I've just come a little bit shorter because the light went funny. I couldn't see my float, so I had to come back half a section, refeed it, and just start again. And that's my first drop in on that line, and it's gone straight away with the skimmer. So fingers crossed there might be a few come over that little bit of ground bit now. So right, I'm going to keep ploughing on, give it my best for the last hour now, and hopefully we can perform a miracle. Better tubes. We're coming up to the last 10 minutes now, and it hasn't got no better. If anything, the last 2 hours it's just got worse and worse now. When I've had an odd bite, most of the time it's just been an F1. I have had an odd skim. I think I've had 2 more on this line, but never going anywhere with it. Like the 2 pegs up the top end, I've walked it, to be honest. And then the rest of us have just sort of fought it out for 3rd place, but I don't think I'll even be as high as that. And I don't really know what I would have done if I come back here, what I would have done any different, to be honest. I think it's just one of them, you know. There'll be more fish at one end of the lake or the other, or this, that or the other. You know, there's always more fish in certain areas, but like this today, just never got going from the start. I haven't had a good run of fish off any lines really. You know, two or three fish off a line is maximum, and then you just sit there, you don't get a bite. So, but you know, it's winter time now, and you have to expect that. Like, the lakes were frozen yesterday, and they've melted. It's all melted in today, but it's just one of them. I think if I was in the middle of the lake, a little bit further in the middle of the lake, I could have had a bit of a chance. But I never mind. There's 2 rounds to go. So it's just we've just got to take a bar draws on the chin when they come, because you will get plenty of them through the winter. Try not to get too down in the dumps about it, even though it is hard when you've been doing well and then you have a stinker, so it hurts a bit, but that's just the nature of the beast. Oh, there's a bite. I see F1 now, look. That's all that's happening now. Anytime you get a bite, just an F1 now. Not just for me, but for most people. Like my last 2 fish now have been F1s. Just this time of day now, 10 minutes to go, the lights go in, it's just prime time to be catching these now. There we go. We've had a few fish, hasn't been disastrous, but we've had a couple of bites and a bit of these fish in, which isn't bad. Look at the size of that thing there, look. Big old brown one. They always feed this time of the day, last knockings. Most skimmers aren't feeding the same. Look at them, like £3. Came in like a wet potato. Another one not for the net. I've been watching my old mate Danny down on the bottom lake there. Looks like he's just been sat there like a gnome today. And there's a little hat on, and I can see his float sticking up from up here, so I don't know what chance he's got of catching a few skimmers, to be honest. Poor old Danny. So I'm just going to grind out now the last little bit of the match. I think we'll weigh in then, have a little catch up. What I weighed and what I think of it, which isn't a lot really. And we'll catch up then and run through it in a bit more detail, I think. So off we go here now. 9 minutes to go, but I'm too far behind now to catch up for first or second. Just got slower and slower as the day's gone on here. Just have a quick drop on this line now. Normally if you get a skimmer, you get him like quite quick. After you've dropped it, you'll catch one if there's one there. When you wait any length of time and it goes, it's normally an F1 then. We'll just see if that goes now, just because I have had a few on this line. This line was good at one point, but when it went, it never really come back. Which is a shame really, because I could drop it on this and catch another couple of fish, but the last couple of times I've tried it, it's been an odd F1 on it. Not a bad roach, 2-3 ounce. But again, I'm not going to build a weight of them in a short space of time. It's caught me out of this lake a little bit. I didn't realise there were so many skimmers in here. I thought it was a lot of like roach fishing and an odd big perch. And there's definitely a few skimmers in here. I'll know that for next time when I go on here. See if I can make another one on that line now. When you get a bite, it's always quite quick, isn't it? You're never really waiting for a bite. If you don't go straight away, it just doesn't seem to go. There's a few bubbles coming up there now, which might be an F1. There's a little thing. Go on. This bite's horrendous. Go on. That's when it goes in. I reckon if it goes this time, it'll be an F1. Because there's a few bubbles starting to come up there now. See, normally you'd have had the bite by now. You just sit here now for ages and ages waiting. Feels like there's nothing in your peg. Right, I'm going to crack on now for the last 5 or 6 minutes, see if I can just catch 1 or 2 skimmers, and then we'll have a little catch up after the match and see how bad it really was. Ah, that's that, Tobes. Oh, boys, come on. Got about £3. I'll be lucky to be last. I reckon I'm 1 below last. Wind them on a couple of pound, boy, or not.
don't know.
Oh, nice. £3, he said.
£10 there.
All day.
No,
15, 16.
Roger. Knew it goes all day.
16, 12.
Yeah, no nice, that's pretty good. Nice.
Good job I put that 2 kilo dumbbell in my keeping at the end, wasn't it? I was going to use it to break the ice, but I didn't need it. I just chucked it in my net. No, there you are. Section win. Right, buying it. Good job you come down. I told you to come down, didn't I? Danny!
17 key black.
Was there?
No.
I know, I heard him call it. Why are you trying to pull the wool over boys' eyes, man?
Because who said reckon who did that? They slammed it down there, man.
They was slamming me top, weren't they? Just winking them out, boy. I don't know what it's like.
that, boy.
No, not well then. I'm annoyed.
Why?
I wanted to win the match.
You can't always win the match, Mike.
Okay, so we've just weighed in. I weighed £16 and a few ounces, I'm not sure how much. That's actually won the lake, so I've made a bit of a tit to myself because I've been moaning and groaning for the last 4 hours saying now we're never going to get back into it, there's no quality fish down my end of the lake. I'm at the wrong end of the lake, so I've made myself look very good there. But there you are, I've won the lake. I'll probably go back top of the league now after that, depending on some other results. The 3 lines have all worked at different stages of the day. My positive line came really good mid-match. We had a really good run of skimmers on that, good size skimmers. The line we started on, I started all right on that, just ticked over for 2 hours before I went on my other lines, and then we've had not many fish, but big skimmers on our 30-metre line up the bank. So they've all sort of come together, just loose fed a few pinkies on them all, kept topping up the ground, but it was really important. I hope you've taken a few bits and pieces out of it. I've definitely enjoyed doing it. I look forward to doing another one. Hopefully next time we'll catch £200 a carp instead of scratching around for a few silvers. But there you are, hopefully catch you on the bank. Nice one.